No, it didn't say it. Got it. Recording in progress. Got it. So welcome to completely off the topic and straight to the point. Hey, edit that, Candy. Welcome to Straight to the Point and completely off topic. I've got my good friend, Stelios Chimpouras with us. Am I saying the last name right?
Yep, you got it, buddy.
Right on. I feel like every time I say it, I feel like I get it right every time, but I always feel like I want to put one or two extra syllables in it.
I think everybody.
Chimpouras. Okay, it's common. We got 45 minutes before you got a hot date today. Is that right?
Yeah, I wish, but yeah.
Right on. Well, we got to get right into it, brother.
Sure.
We're going to jump into the meat of the subjects.
Awesome.
And the elephant in the room oftentimes, mental health. Is that cool?
Yep. Absolutely, man. And
one reason I'm talking to you is because you've been through a long roller coaster ride with mental health of some sort, and you've learned a large amount from it. Like, well, you tell me. Well, what do I need to know about mental health?
Geez, I don't know. I mean,
oh, well, I picked the right person to interview then. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's something that is touchy with everybody. So also weird, people tend to, in this industry especially, tend to heckle one another or pick on one another or, talk shit, do this, do that, but they don't really know what somebody else is kind of maybe going through at the time. So I don't think they know the effects that they might be having by saying the wrong things to somebody, So.
I do. Like with driving. Nope. Completely different. It's not like driving at all. No. Well, when I get cut off driving, I want to kill that person, hunt them down, find their family members, let them know what all pieces of shit there. You know what I mean? But when I think of it, like, man, that person could be on the way to save his mother, who's choking, or she's at the hospital. Then I don't mind so much that they decided that they needed to be in front of me.
Sure.
Mental health is something that we kind of got to talk about, though. That's what all the commercials are telling me. I watched my son's favorite YouTubers during a Super Bowl commercial ask me how I was doing and want to get personal with me and say that I was acting weird, just not myself. And I guess that's what we're supposed to talk about it, right?
Right.
Do you think that not talking about it is a problem? Does it make what about not talking about mental health issues makes it a problem?
I don't know. I think some movies and stuff touch base on it, like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker touched base on mental health, and I mean the guy actually kills his mother in the movie, you know what I'm saying? So but then it shows a part where everything he did, talking to the one girl and killing it, like at the comedy club, like all of that stuff was like a hallucination. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what I took from the movie too. I didn't think it was it ever shown that it was hallucination?
No, it never really said that it was, but it almost kind of I guess, suggested that. And I feel like that
because his jokes weren't funny.
Right. Where he thought he was killing it at the club, you know what I'm saying? And really he was doing terrible. But I feel like a lot of people after that movie was like, oh man, it was great. And it touched base on mental illness. And it's like, well, why does a movie have to come out for us to talk about mental illness and bullying and all of that kind of shit? Whereas any other time it's very much so swept under the rug. The shooting happens and they said, oh, that fucking kid's parents fucking didn't raise him right. Well, no kid comes with an instruction manual, do they? That would be great. That would be amazing, but that doesn't happen. But at the same time, it's like they don't know what's going on in that kid's head. and they don't really want to find out. They just say, oh, kid snap, shot everybody. What an asshole, blah, 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 end of story.
Right.
Instead of, back when like Columbine happened, remember when they tried to blame fucking Marilyn Manson for that shit?
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. Like,
now, in some regard, I feel like there's also an example of, with a story of Oxford shooter, which is what you're talking about, to keep everybody up to date. There was a child that shot people up here right near all of us in Oxford. And something about that too, I think sometimes people are being scared to talk about mental health issues might have actually made the parents less or more reluctant to accept the signs of his deteriorating mental health. Does that make any sense? Because we put a stigma on these things, and the only way to really get rid of these stigmas is to talk about it. Is that
right? Yeah, it might have raised attention to some people and some parents, and thinking, "Wow, maybe we're shitty parents too." You know what I'm saying? Or who knows?
Well, those same parents, there's an amount of judgment that they so if the school comes to you and they're like, hey, your kid's drawing pictures of his classmates dead. I don't know if there was something weird like that, as I understand. But if your kid's doing that, then I might, as the parent, be very cautionary and reflexoral and be like, whoa, you crazy people. My kid's fine, because I begin to think that is a stigma being leveled at me. You know? Like you're a bad parent, you've raised a crazy kid. And not that necessarily that isn't true, but there's a stigma around it from social anxieties, from society not wanting to talk about it because it's an uncomfortable subject, but it's really one that we all kind of deal with. I've tried, very poorly. I wasn't good at it, but I've tried to kill myself. I've thought about killing myself, especially when I was younger. Sometimes it would seem, I don't know, like not like I didn't have any other answers, but boy, I'd really just like to be done with this part of the video game, or just not have to, like, whatever's next, maybe I'll deal with that thing. But I don't think you guys all got the right answers. And so I'm ready to move on.
When I was at my most bottom, as far as that stuff goes, I kind of thought that everybody was just better off without me. Like, I maybe was a shitty father, or a shitty boyfriend, a shitty tattooer, whatever. I just felt like I guess the world would have been better off without me. My son, my girlfriend, everybody would have.
Didn't you watch the old Christmas Story then, where the guy goes back in time, right? Every time the bell rings, the angel gets the wings.
Sure. Or like, what's his name? Ashton Kutcher, The Butterfly Effect. That's a great movie as far as that kind of stuff goes. Like, every action has a reaction type of thing. So I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I have. I think there's that for sure. In my life, I've talked about it on these episodes before, but I've had a very good friend of mine who we reconnected after many years, and we started hanging out very, very briefly. Everything he told me in his life was awesome, but in hindsight, now knowing that a week later he shot himself, and knowing that everything he told me was a lie, and that kind of I see, like, that's one of those things that can possibly come out in conversation. Possibly, he felt like he had to portray this image of success to everybody, and when that image of success couldn't be attained because it was imagination, then
that's what I see, like, so much in tattooing, is all of these like stupid ass cliques that used to be like non-existent when I started 25 years ago. The clique back in the day was, we're tattooers. You're a fucking tattooer. I'm a fucking tattooer. We're cool, right? You know what I'm saying? Then it started, all these assholes started wearing suspenders, and now and later gators, and say, hey, we're the fucking traditional guys. And then these skateboarders used to wear their hats backwards and say, well, we're the fucking neo-traditional guys. And all this stupid ass.
And I'm the LA lettering guy, and I'm this guy.
Yeah. It's just so stupid. Like, I don't know.
It's kind of evolved beyond that some too, hasn't it? Do you still see the cliques as well? That's just going to be people, isn't it? Like, do you think that maybe those cliques were actually always there, and they were harder to perceive because you were so open and receptive to this new world yourself, or do you think these cliques developed during the popularity of it?
Probably
tattooing?
both, because I wasn't like a popular kid in school or anything like that. And then when I started tattooing, it was really strange to me, but awesome to like go to a bar and people be like, "Oh, Stelios, oh my God, you're doing my next tattoo. Hey," you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, wow, that's cool. And I'm popular, that's so neat. And then you don't really like, I don't know, you let your own head get up your ass, just thinking like, I don't know, it's
that you got to meet the hype.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and maybe even that you are. Do you go through all that? Do you? You actually start feeling like, I am so awesome. And then
I gotta be like this Rick James persona, like slapping people around whenever I go out. You know what I'm saying? Just
I think I met you one time a long time ago getting ink from the Howell tattoo shop. So however long that was, when they were making ink in the basement of the Howell shop. And I came in, and so I imagine you probably had an amount then, and it probably was annoying too to see so many tattoo artists come through to get ink, because at least during that time, it was cutthroat and competitive. We didn't share as much. We kept information.
It was very much, you know what it reminded me of, Kyle? It was like American Idol. Whenever like the Simon would say, "Sorry, you're not qualified," they'd be like, "Yeah, whatever, man. We'll see you around." That's how like the guys would come into the parlor. He'd be like,
looking for jobs.
Sometimes I would fanboy over these dudes that I like looked up to and be like, "Oh wow, man. Hi, how's it going? Oh, you're coming to get some ink? That's great." And they'd be like, "Yeah, whatever, kid. Shut up."
Right on. See, I feel like I got amount of that from you, because I was like looking around and saying like hi, or not really trying to say hi. I was really sheepish, a lot more sheepish.
I was like, "What are you doing here?"
But yeah, you didn't ask a question. You just kind of stared until I answered, because you were tattooing too. Until I answered, I was looking for ink, and you're like, I don't know if you said anything or you almost just like did the head movement like there. It was basically just the opposite direction I was too. It wasn't even like it's going down the stairs. So you're like, out of this room, motherfucker.
Leave it out. God, I was a dickhead.
Well, I wonder where you're at. But anyways, these people, these build up, right? We build up these personas until maybe we can't keep up with them, and we make a stupid decision.
Sure.
I was fortunate that my best friend, he made a stupid decision. I'm not fortunate, actually. He had a gun. You made a stupid decision, in my opinion. And if you don't mind me talking about it, you slit your wrists.
I did more than that, but yeah.
You were done. You were you did your ankles and your thighs or something too, and your neck, right?
I did my throat from ear to ear. I did my wrists 2 times each, and the backs of my thighs. But I wanted to die, man. That was.
What was it like tearing through that skin?
Sound,
relief, emotion. I'm curious about all of it. I don't know if I should be. I feel like I want to try and help people with a podcast, but my own disgusting, like, I don't think I could, because it feels like it would be so much sinew, muscle, and pain as well. But was it cathartic? Did it feel good? I mean, you did it more than once. You went through yourself like a kid with scissors or something. like Edward Scissorhands.
It hurt. I mean, the sound was like cutting carpet. Have you ever cut carpet before?
Yep.
Sounded like that.
Ugh. You go through muscle, pretty deep tissue like that too, or did you just try and aim for those arteries?
I guess I wasn't all that good at anatomy class, or maybe it would have worked, or maybe by.
I'm glad you suck at anatomy, brother.
Yeah.
You live as an example for me why I think I'm happy that some people don't have guns. I don't know that I'd be good with a gun. One, I don't know if I would kill other people. I don't think that I wouldn't kill myself sometimes in some kind of depression. It's been a long time since I felt that depressed. Now, I imagine you're ready to talk about this, though, because you're talking to me about getting these covered up. We're going to finally tattoo your throat.
Yeah, I made a promise to my mom that I wouldn't get any tattoos on my throat or my face, and she passed away around New Year's, and now I'm kind of ready. I'm tired of looking at these scars and stuff too. So
you feel like they held you back at any points throughout?
Very much so. Very embarrassing. Very, you name it. I've been in the middle of a tattooing somebody, and they said, "Damn, what the hell happened to your neck?" Or shit like that.
Yeah, well, person I barely know.
Right,
Let me tell you a story about how depressed I was one day.
Why don't you have a seat here? Yeah,
Would you lie to people? Would you tell them the truth?
Oh, I remember my old friend Johnny Nobody. You remember Johnny?
Oh yeah.
Johnny would made up like this crazy story about me like saving a kid during a shark attack and shit like that. That was fucking brilliant. So I did use that one a couple of times.
I love you, Stelly, but I have a hard time seeing you swimming out there in the ocean, beating some sharks off a kid.
Yeah.
He's like, so I grabbed my boogie board and I went and jumped in Baywatch style. I started swimming through the waves.
Kid. Don't worry, kid. I got you.
You're gonna make it. You're gonna be fine. And just then, the sharks got me.
But yeah, man, it was embarrassing many times. I started wearing baggier clothes or hoodies and shit like that, just to avoid stupid ass questions. And I always
you didn't want to tell anybody it was just a thyroid. It's thyroid.
I always wore the black wristbands too, and people always thought that was like something to cover up the scars on my wrist, but that was more always like a Danzig and Misfits thing.
Right.
But
you've been into Glenn Danzig and the Misfits as it is for eons. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I was wearing wristbands much before, like I was trying to cover anything up, and then when I was going to therapy, I remember my therapist being like, "You're not wearing the wristbands this week," or some shit like that, and I was like, "What?" Like I can't, But,
actually, I've just gotten some recently to show some solidarity with you or something. You said, "Hey man, get some of these." I did. I've been wearing them. They're fucking warm, dude.
Yeah, they're great, man. Me and the Wizards all started wearing them, and just trying to get a little posse of a little black wristband crew going.
I was thinking about joining that, but I was also thinking about getting some of them 1980s leg warmers, because as warm as my wrists are, I was like, dude, I could just
what it'll do for my calves, right?
Yeah.
Imagine what it'll do for my calves.
Toasty in here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we can talk about it, really, because I feel that tell me where I'm wrong, but some of the embarrassment that you feel is much because many of us don't talk about the many depressing existential thoughts that we might have. Like, those are forbidden. You're not allowed to think about those things because nobody wants to. It makes us sad.
Right. Yeah, to the right people, I'll talk about anything and everything with. to other people, they don't really deserve it. I know they're already judging me before that question is almost done and out of their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So fuck them, you know? But I don't know, with you, Kyle, you've always been like a good friend of mine. So I don't care to talk about anything with you.
Awesome.
I can tell you about what I was
You probably know
experiencing.
we love you. Like not just my wife, myself, all of our friends. I know that so many people love you, and so I hope that's what you feel, and kind of frees that up. You don't have to worry about the judgment that maybe people put on you.
Well, I think that's helped me never really look back. I know with support and love from my son and all of you guys, I haven't gone back. You know what I'm saying? So
Awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
we never. I never know. Honestly, I figure, and it's also one of those things. I couldn't control anything about my best friend and the things he was going through. So at the same time, we've worked together. You and I worked together when I came back to Michigan a couple years, 2-3 years ago now. We worked for 2 or 3 years together. But
yeah,
during all that time, it was awesome. It was. I loved working with you. And I still do. We get to work together on these shows a lot of times. So
yes.
but during that time, sometimes people would ask me how Stelios is doing, and they were asking always out of a very sincere spot of love, just so that you know as well. But they would ask how you're doing, and I know that a lot of them would be scared to ask you themselves, or to let you know, because they don't know, one, how you're going to perceive it, and also sometimes I think people are just scared because, like, if they talk to you about suicide, or if any, then they also have to think about the sad things that might make them think about, depression, being done with it, all those. So people, the same I find for handicapped people, and I have a certain love of handicapped people, because to me they one, they really appreciate it when you treat them like a human being. Even if you tell them, make a joke about their wheelchair making a noise like it farts or something, they don't mind you ribbing them sometimes, because they don't get that. They always get people talking to them like babies, not respecting them really, or just more importantly, overlooking them and walking away.
Right.
And I think,
and that's what I couldn't stand too, after I was recovering and stuff like that, like the people that would act like all motherly and babying over you. That shit was just, I don't know. That's not what I needed or wanted or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like any of that.
Right. It makes it seem like they imagine that you're doing it for a completely different reason, not as pure, more for some kind of weird attention. And then worse, that they're giving it to you.
Sure.
Worse that you would let it work, you simpleton.
Right. But yeah, I remember like everything. I mean, sometimes you hear a siren or this or that, and it takes you right back to those moments, So I remember.
Let me rephrase some of this then, really, because what you remember is the ambulance, and you say just hearing an ambulance will take you back. So I guess I mean to ask then, you remember the ambulance ride and the wait, I guess they weren't in a waiting room, were you? You probably went right back to an ER room.
Yeah, I don't that was probably when the lights went out, is when I was in the ambulance. I remember everything up until like doing it, being found by my friends, and then the ambulance being called, the cops showing up, everybody like hovering over me and ripping my clothes off to do stuff, you know what I'm saying, and work on me and whatnot. And I remember getting on the gurney and then getting into the ambulance, and that was lights out right there. And then when I woke up, I was in Ann Arbor ICU.
When you say lights out too, did you see a light? Did you go down a tunnel, all that kind of stuff we hear about?
That's funny you asked that, because it was very cliche. Some people say it's science, and some people say it's God, and this and that. But I can tell you, I can almost getting chills right now. I can feel it. Like, I remember doing it and looking in the mirror and seeing myself like a fucking mess. And I remember like a white light, and that white light was like a tunnel, and it got closer and closer and closer. And as it was at its, go ahead.
I should let you go on, but you were looking in the mirror, kind of standing up, or to see. Wow. Yeah. And, well, that's a horrific. How much do you have to, like? That's horrific. It would have to be. That's trauma. That's got to be stressful trauma. You still deal with that image today. You've got to.
Yep.
You speaking of dealing with, I want to get back to what you were telling me about the white light, but I kind of want a good to break this up occasionally, because it's heavy, and talk about the great things that have happened, not necessarily as a result, but kind of as a result. Your involvement with mental health community, the mental health community in your neighborhood of Howell, where your work was at, and a very successful semicolon tattoo drive that you've held almost every year since, and raised substantial amounts of money.
Yeah, we did 2 of them, and it raised a lot of money for the community and mental health center in Livingston County. And it was a big deal, especially the first one. We had the radio station come out there, and Channel 4 came out there, and what's his name? I forget the TV anchor's name, who came out there, and Steve Garagiola. That was it, from Channel 4. And then we raised $10,000 for Howell, and man, I remember tattooing until 4:30 in the morning that day. I tattooed everyone. There was a line a fucking mile long, and it was a pretty awesome feeling and pretty awesome turnout. And then I believe you participated in the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the second. I thought it was possibly the third, but I know that me and Candy came in.
Yeah, there was only 2. Yep.
Me and Candy came in, and a couple of the guys upstairs, they worked out as well. You stayed there longer than all of us. We were there quite some time ourselves. And it was cool meeting all the people, and I knowing that everybody kind of had the same. I mean, I feel like that's the bigger part of the Semicolon Project, is that it gets people talking and understanding that a lot of these depressions are actually shared. Yeah. You're not alone.
Yeah.
All right. So now, when you were alone, nobody lives. Everybody dies alone. No matter how close you got people with you. You were going down a white tunnel. You were like being drawn through it or something, like a floating entity or something, or
it felt like I was getting sucked in, like floating into a tube of some sorts, or it was coming to me. Either way, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, And
was there any noise with it, or any smells or anything too, or?
No, it was quiet, super quiet. And I remember too, like my phone was going crazy. Like I was getting like 1 million texts and 1 million calls at that time. But for that weird like moment, everything just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, I remember thinking to myself, oh, wow, it's heaven, it's God, or whatever.
Right.
And soon as
God shuts the phone off, one of the first things you go to meet the guy, he turns all the phones off.
Yeah, silence that shit, right?
No irony there. He's like, no, I got a button.
Yeah, I got to talk to this guy. Yep. But anyway, when I felt like the white light was on me, like it was almost like if there were an alien ship like beaming down on you, like I felt, and I remember looking at my shoulders, and I was like, oh wow, that's on me or whatever.
You could
The
see
white.
your own physical body
No, no,
outside of
no,
yourself? Or?
no, no. I could look on my shoulders and see like that white light, like was beaming
Oh, okay.
on, like I was almost in it or something.
Like
And
you
soon,
were an entity of light. Am I wrong?
yeah, and soon as I said that to myself, like, oh wow, I'm in the light. Boom! Like I remember getting shoved so hard, like I literally lost my feet, and I got thrown up against the wall, and that's where I slumped and sat until I was found. And then the white light thing, all of that went away as soon as I got
Shoved.
slammed to the wall. Yep.
Who shoved you? I got chills. Who shoved
Yeah.
you? Someone don't want you coming yet.
Right.
Ha ha,
That's,
fucker. You gotta endure friendship
and
with Kyle
I
a
don't
little
care.
longer.
You know, you can talk to all these science people that say, "Oh yeah, well, when you're dying, your eyes flash and it's your eyelids that show the white light." Blah blah blah. No, 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 no. Fuck off. I know what I know. What I know. I know what I felt. I know what that entity was that shoved me.
And of course, they would. I would imagine anybody would say it could have easily been the force of falling backwards or something like that.
No,
Hitting the
it was
wall,
like
maybe?
it was like getting spear tackled by fucking Goldberg. Like, you know, like it wasn't just a push or a shove. I've been in fights. I've been shoved. I've been
Well, at
thrown
least it
around.
wasn't like getting a heel from Goldberg. Bret hit the man hard head to take.
Yeah, right. But,
Still has ringing in his ears. All right. If
yeah.
you can't tell, we're WWF fans. WWF fans.
Yeah,
We're fans of
old
the
school
WWF.
80s, golden age.
Oh, I was talking about the World Wildlife Foundation. What were you talking about?
I thought it was the World Women's Federation or something, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I think it was World Wildlife, and that's why they had to change it to WWE. The weird thing is that we have to go through with this Mandela effect where people are like, what? WWF?
Right. I know, that's when it shows your age. They're like, no, it's WWE now. And it's like, yeah, well, whatever. It sucks. Okay.
All right, you're a dick. Just saying. My friend works on Raw, so you're a dick now.
Oh shit.
I have no idea what it's turned into. I know I've tried to watch a couple of times.
I can't really watch it anymore. I don't know if it's just lost that lackluster of the whole promo video. I think that was what I liked more than the actual wrestling matches, was like the Macho Man's interviews and Ultimate Warrior's interviews and stuff like that, you know.
Yes. I think that, I mean, you go back and watch the matches, they're not, certainly Hulk Hogan's aren't exciting.
No,
I've never
like wrestler.
Boring, so boring, but boy, could he talk to a microphone.
Right.
Get the Hulkamaniacs breathing along, believing.
Getting the kids eating the vitamins and training and saying their prayers.
So you got Goldberg speared out of the white light. The white light turns off right with the impact. And you slump down against the wall until everybody finds you. You kind of were conscious, bleeding out then against the wall at that point.
Yeah, I remember everything.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. I'm glad that they weren't ready for you. I wasn't ready to lose you as a friend, and to some weird, stupid way. I don't know if it's stupid, but I feel like I hate that people say this sometimes, that everything happens for a reason, because if it does, then that means some really horrible shit happens for reasons. And I don't want to think about that. But I am amazed sometimes at the coincidences, at least, of things that happen, to where a friend of mine passes away, and now I have a feeling of humanity, I guess, that goes out to people who have found themselves in that situation. And so, I believe that actually helps me not have that depression, because I know that people like yourself have experienced depression far greater, and that we can, I don't know, that there's tomorrow. You know, what is it, like a fucking, like Little Orphan Annie, tomorrow. So like, I know that there's tomorrow, and that we all share this. There's a Buddhist story about a girl whose son dies, and it's her firstborn, so it's really important, and she just is inconsolable. She won't eat. Her health is deteriorating, and she knows that this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to anybody. So she hears that the Buddha has a magic that could bring her son back to life. So she goes and visits him, and he tells her he does. He knows a magic that will bring her child back to life, but she will have to it's not easy to get the ingredients. She has to find a mustard seed from a family that has never experienced the loss of a family member. But she's undeterred because now she has hope for the first time about a reason to be alive. So she starts out on this quest, and every house she stops by, of course, somebody they know has died. She's beginning trying to imagine these perfect, ideal places where maybe death hasn't touched them, or maybe they just recently bought this house, or a very fledgling family. But she goes far and wide and finds nothing. There is no mustard seed. But in this travels, as she begins to realize that everybody's been touched by, she's also hearing the stories. No, of course, my own brother died, they explain, or my sister has died, my father, my mother, my children. Many times she hears the story about their children dying as well. And through this long process, she eventually just gives up. But as she gives up, she doesn't have the same feeling of loneliness and isolation, because she knows that this is a shared experience.
Right.
Boo, blah, blah. Sorry.
Sounds like an old Leonidas story or something.
Oh, yeah? Why? From the 700 or 300 or kicking
There's
people in the wells?
Always stories like that about, old hermit knocking on somebody's door, needing somewhere to sleep, and the people turn them away, and really it's Jesus and this that, stuff like that. It's yeah. I think going back to what you were saying is, I used to hate that phrase, everything happens for a reason. I used to fucking hate.
I can understand hating it. I still hate it because I don't think it does, but I understand that somewhere what they're saying. Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like it does. It does mean something.
But you didn't slit your wrists for a reason. That is, because what also is being said in that is everything happens for a reason that attaches to another thing, that blah, blah, blah. Well, I hate to think that there was a fate where you had to experience that so that these other
here's what I think, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the reason where everything happens for a reason is maybe that opened a few people's eyes up, and then maybe he kept me here to help, I'd say, the hundreds or maybe even the thousands of people that have reached out to me in a time of need, when I knew, like, whoa, red flags, this guy's in code red, like a serious bad spot. I need to help him. I don't care if it's 1 a.m. I don't care if it's 4 a.m.
This has happened to you since in a great number of times.
Thousands.
Even once.
I feel wow. Like I've helped thousands of people since, and probably before.
That is awesome.
I would have been like, "Who the fuck is this bugging me at 2 a.m?" You know what I'm saying, or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
But like I said, I feel like being in that spot and putting myself in their shoes. And maybe they say some of the things that I thought at that time. I was like, wow, so-and-so really needs me to reach out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then I've had people, never message me back, never message me again. And then other people say, hey, dude, thank you so much for last night. Like, you don't even know. And I say, well, yeah, the fuck I do. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
but
I know more than
maybe
you know.
that was the reason. Maybe my son needs me here longer than I thought, and all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
It's been very humbling, and I probably was a cocky tattoo artist or person or whatever back then. No, I'm a humble guy now. I can.
Did it change you in some great regard? Your whole experience, and then and still being here, really.
Like I said, it's been very humbling. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of clients. I've lost.
Why would they can't be around you? It seems like a really shitty thing to not be somebody's friend because they tried to commit suicide. Is it
or they don't want me to bring them down, or they don't want to be around if I do it again, or they don't want to be close. It's kind of like
could it be also they couldn't handle it?
Sure, maybe, and maybe they don't want to handle it. And it used to bum me out and piss me off, but now I see, I kind of realize, like, hey, maybe they're just not built for this shit or ready for any of that kind of shit. And they got something else going on in their life, or maybe they got their own shit piling up, so they don't need somebody else's shit to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned to respect that. And okay.
Again, I feel that something similar to when I see people, how they, when we're at a tattoo convention and we see handicapped people, you can watch down an aisle as somebody is in a wheelchair or something, possibly being pushed along, and you can watch the faces of the tattoo artists and the customers and all that, and you can see them physically like the Red Sea sometimes. You know what I mean? Sure. It just turn disengaged, try to look other ways until it passes.
Sadly, you see every reaction. You even see the motherfuckers that make fun of a fucking guy. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't see that. Maybe I do. I try not to. I think maybe I'm wrong.
That's the same thing I feel like with suicide. Some people consider it mental health or depression, like weakness. Like, what's the matter with you, man? Snap out of it.
That's why we talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, as we're learning,
what do you
I would imagine
so sad about? Shit like that.
I do. I feel like, but that's what we're learning is that's, well, actually I did it. I think I told you, there's that kid tried to, I met that guy, and then he ended up calling me about how cool it was to meet me, but he was ready to kill himself. I drove out there and sat with him for several hours talking until it seemed like everything passed. I forget where I was going with it now, man. Sometimes I get stuck in these stories because you're like, it is weird, because then you start thinking maybe things do happen for a reason. So my idiot friend Jason kills himself, and then I have this affinity now to help others. You yourself tried to kill yourself. Someone said, fuck you, kicked you back into the ethereal plane. You've got more help to give to other people, which honestly, also it's becoming a success. You raise several but yourself, you're finding success in your tattooing life now, as I've seen. I don't know about how tattoos are going, but that coloring book, that was hotcakes, right? You sold that thing like hotcakes in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I sold out of everything that I brought. I stuffed an entire suitcase just full of books. Like, I brought a second suitcase. I sold over 60 books. Just so
Stelios is an artist. He's a tattoo artist, traveling tattoo artist like myself, and he was worried for this. I want to tell this part of the story because I was there when you were worried about.
Yeah, I was making the book, I believe, during COVID shutdown.
What is the book? Tell me what the book is. It's a coloring book. Did I explain it? I don't think I did.
No, it's an adult coloring book with 69 pages and 6 mazes, activities, and it is probably the filthiest fucking thing you'll ever lay your eyes on.
All right. That's why I had to get to, because people open it up even after I bought one, of course. want to support my friend, and I put it right on the table. I want them to see this thing, and I want them to be able. So but I'm keeping it in the plastic. You know, I'm going through it with people, or I'm choosing who I let look at it because I'm one of them stupid fucking comic book collectors. Like, so some people can dirty the pages of my filthy comic book, and others can, but or my filthy coloring book, I guess. So, but as I'm showing it off, people would open it up, even with it being explained, this is an adult coloring book, and they would open it up, and you could see a little bit of like amazement, where they were like, "Oh, it's really adult. It's very really adult." Yeah. Like, they don't make Crayolas this color.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do with it. Like, I scoped out a lot of that style of stuff and other coloring books, and they were all silly, haha, little wieners, like super bad, and you know, that kind of shit and stuff like that. And mine has humor in it also. Like, the mazes are fucking hilarious. I
feel like in life there is genius, right? So like, there's genius, and that's important, of course. Like Albert Einstein was a genius, but the people who recognized Albert Einstein's genius and helped get it out to the world, those people are far easily as valuable. If it wasn't for people putting Albert Einstein's ideas out there, it might have just been him. But so here's how I felt about this for the longest time. I've watched your tattoos. You're one of the most, you draw so much that you have pieces every day. You have tattoos just up here. It can be the stupidest, no offense, brother. It can be the stupidest, simplest idea. Right. And you will draw up a tattoo for it. And there's oftentimes that it reaches this level of humor that is easily as addicting as memes are to people. You know, like, for me, at least, when I look at your artwork, and I've always seen that in some people, I think it comes off to them. Here's what I believe. They haven't been told that they can like that yet. Right. And so some unique people are able to see the genius of it and be like, dude, I like that. I want that. That's so dope. Sure. And other people are like, I've never seen anything like that before. That's really unique.
And that means so dumb. Let's walk to the next booth.
But well, it does for them, you know, because they're not walking on the wild side, whatever. So I'm excited just because it all comes together in the perfect mesh of the coloring book. Because you're absolutely right. That thing is like it's jokes, it's comedies, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it might make the pages stick together.
Yeah, you know, I feel like that with even like my tattooing or my tattooing style. It never really, I respect traditional, and I respect neo-traditional, and I respect realism. Like, when I draw, it comes out my own.
As a Stelios piece.
I can't really explain it. So I've had people at conventions tell me, man, these are the best books. I've been through every book in this entire convention, and you're the best. And I'm like looking at them, I'm like, oh, and like, there's Marshall Bennett's right over there, and Mike Chambers, like those, you know what I'm saying? Like, the dudes that I like look up to. And they're like, no, man, we already looked through everything. Like, your stuff's the shit, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And then I don't know if I ever told you the story about the German dudes that were looking at my stuff. I think it was like in Florida or something. Did I tell you this
Please tell me they were bumping out.
Yeah, dude.
Task portfolio is bumping out.
Yeah. So my ex-girlfriend could speak fluent German. And these two German guys were going through my drawings and just ripping me a new fucking asshole, you know. But they weren't.
And she's kind enough to tell you, right?
Yeah. So, you know, of course, German always sounds angry, doesn't it? Like, that's one of the.
Yeah.
So
it was Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert used to have a skit with Dana on the Dana Carey show, which is German guys saying nice things or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Your shirt is very nice.
Yeah. This is so true. And then I remember I asked her, I said, what'd they say? And she's like, they did not like your stuff. I'm like, all right. That's
No.
a bitter pill we've all, I think, had to swallow. You'd see somebody with 20 and 30 years of experience, and people fan through their book like it's a dirty JCPenney section catalog or something, and then they go to the new guy who's only been tattooing 2 years, and they're like, this guy's the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just part of the business. But
I think it's changed a lot now because not so many people use portfolios the same.
Sure.
But I definitely remember my favorite was the person who would like start in the portfolio. They'd look at 1 and 2 pages, and then they'd start talking to you, and without looking down at the pictures,
ask for something totally different. Yeah.
Well, no, they'd keep flipping. And they're not looking.
They're talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing there? Right. Just wearing the binding out of my portfolio or something?
Yeah. Just fucking up the O-rings there. What are you doing?
Right.
I remember like before the coloring book came out, I was taking samples, like a few drawings, and putting like 3 or 4 pages at the backs of my portfolios. And I would kind of like just to kind of sample them and see how it would do with people reaction. Like, am I just imagining that this book is going to do good, or I wanted feedback.
What reactions were they getting? Because it seems like that could be a real surprise for somebody if they're going through and suddenly they're looking at a vagina and penis getting to know each other.
Well, that was kind of like what the conclusion was. It wasn't all positive. So you'd have like a mother and daughter come up looking through portfolios, and then they'd come to the back, and I'd say, whoa, just so you know, things get a little randy back there. Just watch yourself, and the mom, they'd say, oh, it's okay. We've seen a wiener before. and then they would look and get fucking appalled. Like the mom would storm off and walk away. Meanwhile, their 19-year-old daughter is still like looking at it with her jaw on the ground, like, this is awesome. Like, so I knew. And then man. couples were always funny too. So that would go both ways. The boyfriend would be like, that's disgusting, or whatever. And the girl would still be like, wait, there's still 3 more pages to look at,
or they would be the opposite. The girl would be like, get out, get your face out of
that. I don't do any of those things. You must like this shit.
I once dated a girl who didn't believe that I should be able to look at any kind of
I think every guy
or other woman
like that. I think every girl has probably dated a guy like that too. Like we've seen it even in the tattoo parlor where back in the day when they used to have flash racks. I remember guys looking at stuff being like, oh, that's sweet. And the girls being like, ew, if you get that, I'm totally like dumping your ass, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Or stop looking at those titties drawn on that girl.
Or a girl would be looking at some sort of design and the dude would be like, only sluts get those tattoos. You're not getting that. just I feel like artwork should piss people off. I feel like artwork should make you think, and it should like stir up shit. I remember being like a little kid, and I always used to like the old Conan the Barbarian covers and Famous Monsters. The magazines were dog shit. They were like newspaper, had that black shit that would get all over your fingers. But that
Frank Frazetta cover.
That Frank Frazetta and Basil Gogos, I could stare at that shit for hours, and to imagine like this guy did this with a paintbrush, or whatever. Right. That shit was always fascinating to me. So I feel the same way like with artwork and especially like profound artwork. Yeah, maybe everything shouldn't be fucking kitty cats and puppy dogs and fucking fairy dust and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they should be a picture of a flip phone with a dick pic on it. I still haven't looked completely through that book, but that's the one I keep coming back to that cracks me up. That like somebody's one of the pages you have, it's a flip phone, like the whole idea of I'm gonna make it a dick pic for sure. Yes, you got to have a coloring book adult one with a dick pic. Just makes sense. It's going to be on a phone. Oh, dude, it should be a flip phone. Make it look like it can't handle playing Minesweeper or something.
Yeah, I love it.
That's grandma's a flip phone. Oh, grandpa just sent me a new. He should have made it with a wrinklier penis.
Yeah. I love the mazes too. The mazes all like had me in tears, even as I was like drawing them and designing them. Yes. Just to give like the listeners an example, there was like the starting points and the ending points are just fucking hilarious. So like my favorite one is take the skin boat to Tuna Town. So
I haven't seen that. I just seen the stripper one then.
The skin boat being a big wiener with a big sail on it like a boat. And it's,
right.
And it's going to a town which looks like a factory with like vaginas like all over it. I don't know why. It's just stupid ass humor, man. Oh, Benny Hill humor. He used to fart and rub his like rubber suit on a rubber chair, and that shit used to crack me up. You know?
Right, right. So now you're gonna pull it in your own artwork. I hope it does well. I've seen it doing well. I think it will continue to. We've already talked about the cover artwork for your second volume, third volume.
Which I love the ideas. Yeah.
Well, I like that you've had this depressing time in your life that culminated with this attempt on your life. And I personally see many successes since then, but this being a very big, I think it has the chance to be big too, right? Aren't you even talking with like Lover's Lane or something about carrying that in there? I
have a meeting with their people in headquarters here in Michigan.
And then I heard there was also you're supposed to take it on the Shark Tank.
No, that's not true.
No, just go with it, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, but yeah,
that would be hilarious. Showing them old brutes, but like, I think this can go places. What I'm trying to do is raise some money to show people some skin.
That would probably be like the quickest like skit where all of them say that they're out. No, I'm out. And I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out.
Maybe you tell them you need to develop crayons that are colored for it, and you need their money to do that. Be like, listen, this is already selling like hotcakes, because money talks to them.
Now we need some wiener shaped crayons. What do you guys think?
Or wiener shaped, wiener colored as well. We need flesh tone colors, because I mean the Roy G. Biv Crayola ain't getting you through this,
Right.
And we need some smooth ones that kind of cover a little bit better, so it doesn't look like these dicks and these vaginas are all spotty and breaking out with something. This thing's got hives. What is it?
Oh, you got to take it to that level, don't you?
Well, maybe you should make your next one, instead of putting it, depending on the type of paper, maybe you should make one 4 markers and include a Copic set of markers, so they have those flesh tones.
Yes.
Oh, did you do it? You didn't do any color by numbers either.
Nope.
We've got plans, man.
I got lots of ideas for volumes 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but yeah.
You have, and you need to go to Shark Tank so that you can remember them ones that you added water to the page and it already had the watercolor on it.
Yes. Hey, Mr. Wonderful, what do you think of this?
Hey man, this dick reminds me of you. It's got no hair on its head either.
Oh my god, dude.
I named this dick Mr. Wonderful.
All right, so we're done stupid. Here, right? Love you, man. Where'd you go?
Get to this hot date, right? We're about at that time, ain't we?
Oh yeah, it's cool. We can wrap it up if you want to. If not, we can keep going.
Well, what else you got? I still do have questions, kind of about like I still wanted to try and pinpoint which one of your family members you imagine it was that kicked you in the chest and knocked you out, so that you could entertain my podcast listeners, because obviously that's the reason you did it.
I don't know if it was a family member personally.
You got more spiritual after that. You think it was God himself, or?
Yeah.
What's he look like? What's his penis look like? Is it like Tom Brady's? If you had to draw it in a cartoon comic book.
No. If Tom Brady's was in my coloring book, it would have what, 7 rings on it?
Yeah, I guess it would.
Yeah.
He's like, man, Tom, those are some awfully big rings. It's not for my fingers, bro.
Yeah.
No, but God kicked you out. You believe it was an angel? You believe it wasn't necessarily ancestral? It was like some energy being like, nah, you gotta go back.
Yeah. Feel like it was maybe God. Yep.
You feel a force. Are you more in tune with that same kind of nature and spirituality now?
Yeah, but it's different. I don't really like going to church, but I know.
Well, worst thing about church is that it has people.
Well, I know it's what's right in my head and in my heart, so that's what I follow now, and I don't really care what anybody else thinks or does. Even like with the passing of my mom, the priest there said we should come back, be a member, blah blah blah, and
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for laughing.
I don't really want to
it just seems shitty, does it? It's like, hey, by the way, I know you're having a hard time, pretty big moment, but I shouldn't overlook a chance to sell you on my product.
Yeah. I'm not into it. I don't really want to.
It's
talk
only
about
10%
stuff,
of your salary, or you could just feel really guilty about not giving enough. Either way.
Yeah, I would rather just pray on my own and bow down to who I bow down to on my own and at home and stuff like that. So,
what do you think about the Bibles themselves? You think that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light? You think that maybe that doesn't make sense, and that it would only make sense that man would fuck that up too?
I think we have shown that man has fucked up everything. Whether you pray to Jesus or Allah or Buddha or Muhammad, as long as I guess you have something, I think we didn't just pop up here. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I believe in, and I don't really care to share. I don't really care what anybody else believes in or doesn't believe in. Other people think Bleak Blork brought us here or whatever. I don't care what your philosophy is on that either. But
it doesn't bother you because you've seen it closer. It does bother other people, right? That's one reason you're probably making the comparison. Some people are like, "Oh, you believe that? You're so crazy."
Right, sure.
Let me tell you something that makes sense. My Jesus walked on water.
And then it's people like, if you're not for me, you're against me. You know what I'm saying? So like, we don't listen to the same music, so you must be a loser. Just all of that. Everybody's got their take on all of it. I don't understand why people love the Dallas Cowboys, but people still love the fucking Dallas Cowboys. Hey.
Watch your mouth.
Is that your favorite?
No, I give a fuck. Candy likes him. I think Candy likes him because they usually played on Thanksgiving.
Oh man.
But I've also noticed recently, and I've had a whole podcast about this, so I shouldn't touch too much on it. I've noticed that Candy likes this game, but as I watch it, and maybe I'm just a pecker peeper. I guess that's what I am. I'm a pecker peeper. But motherfuckers ain't wearing cups anymore. It makes more sense why Candy's just like, I just like the games.
Are you checking out their junk, or is Candy checking out their junk?
Well, I must have noticed it at one point.
You're both checking out some junk.
It's unfortunate. Maybe, but I don't like it. I don't watch this stuff.
I love football, to be honest, and I'm not like a huge jock or anything like that. I just love competitive sports. I like watching UFC. I like watching I can't really get into baseball so much, but my son played hockey for 16 years. I still fucking love watching hockey, and you couldn't catch my ass out on that cold ice ever. but I still love watching it, you know.
It's an exciting game, especially once you get to learn how to follow the puck.
I liked wrestling when I was a kid, but that wasn't
You used to wrestle yourself. You mean real wrestling, not wrestling, right?
Right, yeah, like and it wasn't Greco-Roman wrestling either. It was more like collegiate style wrestling, which is
freestyle kind of stuff.
No freestyle. There's no throwing in
okay. In what you guys are doing. Can't hurt the kids like that. Jesus.
Right. But I enjoyed that because like I went to a state championship high school with football, but anytime we lost, it was like crybaby central and blame game. If you didn't drop the ball on third down, we would have won. Blah blah blah. Wrestling, you had nobody to blame but yourself if you got your ass whooped. And other times you would be, I remember being like on a few win streak. I don't remember how many wins in a row, and I thought I was fucking Billy Badass, and this kid fucking flipped my ass and pinned my ass in like fucking 30-40 seconds, and that shit humbles you, man. You're like, God,
quiet ride home.
Right. You know?
Quiet ride home. Did your team win that day? Because that's kind of the best part about wrestling. As a college, I used to wrestle myself. The team could win or you could win, and you could always take a little pride at least in the team winning. But if the team won and you lost, you were still like,
no, my team was terrible. There was only like 3 or 4 of us that would win, so we would always be bitching on the guys, you know, harping on the guys that couldn't pull a win, you know, like, goddamn.
Yeah.
But
we had a good team. We won a lot, and I got to save our team a bit because we had really weak heavyweights that year. I don't know what happened. All the big heavyweights graduated, and they put me up from 181 to heavyweight. And and some of them were just really bad about being as big as they were.
Right.
I got lucky because like a big guy, a lot of times, if you put his head out in front of his feet, over his feet, you know, he's got to work hard to straighten himself up. So I was like this little skinny guy out there. They kept threatening me that I was too light. They were like, we're going to stick a steel rod in your ass if you don't go home and eat some cake or something tonight.
Right.
So I don't know. I also didn't get the same thing that you, because you were probably cutting weight, weren't you?
Oh yeah. And it was back when there was no limit.
Had to cut. Yeah.
There was no limit on how many weight classes. Now these kids, they're not allowed to cut but 1 or 2 weight classes.
Right.
I want to say I went from like 150 to like 125 wrestling at 125. Like we were making ourselves like sick, you know, trying to cut weight.
Spitting in garbage cans.
Oh man, we were wearing those old like solar suits, like Vision Quest, the like silver suits, and then hoodies.
Vision Quest.
Of that. Yeah.
Well, for the reference, that's an awesome wrestling movie, right? With,
sure was. Yeah.
Who didn't have Rob Lowe in it?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you. I almost want to say Rob Lowe or some shit, but I don't think so.
Rob, it was actually something Paxton. It wasn't Paxton. Seems like he was in Married to the Mob many years later. That's as much as I know about the kid.
Right on.
But at any rate, moving on.
Yes.
Dude,
I got to wrap up in about 5 minutes, man, if you don't mind.
I was just going to get back to the deities.
Sweet.
No, that's fine. Dude, I love you. Thanks for chatting with us. I've stayed too long. I've said too much, all that kind of dumb stuff.
Yeah, man, I hope anyone that does listen to it, I hope we helped. And, you know, you can reach us on Facebook and talk to us anytime, too. If you're feeling like shit, I feel like it's super important to reach out. And it's also super important for us to do our part and reach out to our friends that we haven't heard of in a month or whatever and wonder why so-and-so hasn't talked to us, you know?
No, so. I do. It makes me I immediately start having thoughts about people. I should probably you know how bad I am about getting a hold of people. But also, how do we find you? Where do we find you? You're on Instagram. How do we order this coloring book that everybody should have?
You can reach me. How do we support? You can reach me on Instagram at Tattoos by Stelios or Facebook. Stelios
that should be easy to spell.
Yeah, right. Stelios Chimpouras, Chimpouras.
Oh
but,
my God.
I know, right? You can message me. And
Actually, it's
I'll,
just like it sounds then, isn't it?
yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Chimp.
Or
We get to make funs about you about that.
Oh yeah, that was my old nickname in high school, man. When I'd come out to the wrestling mat, they'd yell chimp, 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 chimp.
I'm all right. I'm pumping my hand like Arsenio Hall. Did you get stoked on it? Was it like your thing?
Oh yeah, I was like slap your face, like ready to rock kind of shit, you know?
Right on.
Headbutt and stuff.
Oh, I want to go back in time and see that. See you in a singlet, right? And your headgear walking out there, just chest all out, like I'm
little chisel belly Stelios headbutting his teammates.
I just cut down 155 to 113 to kick your ass, kid. I've got so much anger inside of me from spitting in a garbage can all weekend and wearing this solar suit
pumping through my veins. Yep.
Was that you had headphones for sure, right? You were getting pumped up listening to Glenn Danzig. What song was it? Mother? It wasn't Mother then.
No, it was Misfits, definitely Misfits, Earth AD, all of that stuff was my pump up shit back then. Go-to. Yep.
Would you win and let out a yell like that?
Whoa, yeah.
You did?
Danzig yell. No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn it.
That would have been superb if I did. Yeah.
I would love it. The lights go dim. They bring out a stage. Smoke music comes on. And then you do your second bit. It's like, first I kicked some ass. And now I kick some fucking ass. Rock and roll.
I love you, man. But
love you too.
Anybody can message me and reach out to me, and I'll mail them a book. It's not a problem.
Stelios Chimpouras. How do we spell your first name?
Stelios. Chimpouras. Chimpouras.
Thank you.
I know. Thanks, Dad, for the Greek name. Yep.
Well, at least he gave you that great big long Greek god. Well, actually, Stelios, we've looked it up in the Urban Dictionary. And you know that it means a demon with a huge phallus. You know this, right?
It was a Greek god with a huge dick. Yeah.
There you go. So Dad didn't do you bad. At least he might have fucked you up on the last name. But at least he pulled it out.
The Urban Dictionary didn't do me bad either, right?
Yeah, he was probably like, fucked up thing is, I can't change the last name for you, kid. What I can do is name you after a giant dick Greek god.
Get out of here.
Now go out there and sing me some Misfits, kick that kid's ass. Pin him.
All right.
Take care, brother. Love you too.
Bye, man.